Holy shit, season 7 ending of All American. Just finished watching it. It was a nasty, and I mean a nasty cliffhanger. So overall, I give season 7 of All American, not gonna lie, 7 out of 10. But the ending, my god. I mean, we learn about so many new people no longer having Spencer James. He's in there for what, maybe like 5 minutes of one episode. We still have Layla. We still have Jordan. We learn more about Amina. We learn about Cassius, Ava, KJ, Tori. We learn about more so of Khalil. We learn about so many people. We get Coop and then her little thing, Brianna, who is straight up pressure. There's just so many new characters here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what to expect, but I'm actually really excited for season 8, if I'm being honest. Like, I was like, what could they possibly do? No Spencer James? For most of this, what are they gonna do, you know? But man, that was really, really, really good. We learned about Khalil, even more. Khalil's dad, Marquis. It was absurd. We learned about L, like, brother. So many things, but like I do for these reviews, let me start off with what is just freshly ingrained in my brain. And what is freshly ingrained in my brain is the last episode where we learned that KJ does not win Player of the Year. We knew that he went from Oakland to Beverly Hills to play at Beverly, Jordan Baker's alma mater. And then to find out in the previous episode, the root cause of that was to break Jordan Baker's dad's records, Billy Baker's records, because Cassius, who was KJ's dad, his father is a basically half brother or something. He was adopted. He was basically Billy Baker's brother, and he really was trying to break all of his records and make sure that he had nothing left standing, because he thought that the adoption didn't go through, but it's because that the mother didn't want to go through with it, not that she didn't know that it didn't go through. But besides that, let's get into it. All right, so Jordan, Cassius, KJ, they're all related now, because obviously their Cassius' dad is related to Billy Baker. RP, my good sir, my boy Tay. So that all transpires, which I'll get into as well. No, all over the place, but let's start off with what's in my brain. So we learn more about Marquis, who is Khalil's dad. We learn more so about Jordan, who, you know, this is tough, you know, because they receive a call, both KJ and Cash at the same exact time. They're in their like hotel, whatever room, with their mother. Leaves a call. Boom, 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 boom. KJ has not won Player of the Year, but Cassius has won Coach of the Year. And then KJ kind of like standoffish. He's like, not really like congratulating Pops. He's like, nah, I don't want you to bring me to school. I want Mom to bring me to school. Now, knowing that they have kind of like a broken relationship because of the divorce, stuff like that. But he also was kind of broken with his dad as well. So not, there's really two pieces of the same pot, with all due respect. So he just wouldn't talk all day. His mom gave him the sandwich. He didn't want to, you know. It's like, KJ, I get you didn't win, but your dad, he won, you know. Everything he did this season, you know, he deserved to win. Now, it could be in the back of his brain, which he did say when he was talking to Jordan. It's like, this guy won? This guy was sabotaging. He moved me away from my friends to go to Oakland to beat your dad's records, and he still won Coach of the Year, and I did it? I was basically on the field. This guy... Man, what? Man, hell no. So the parents, they go to Tori, who fine shit he's talking with, but there's also Amina as well. So they go to Tori, and she's talking to him a little bit, but it's not getting much out of her. They have to really go to Amina to get the most out of KJ, because that's really where he gets his emotional support and really can just exhale and just let everything fly. Because when he talks to Tori, he's really just keeps things in from her and like kind of like locks her out from inside, basically. But yeah, and we learn more about, like I mentioned, Marquis. Now, Marquis is Khalil's father. Now, Marquis had a conversation at the game with Jordan because previous to that, when they were with Preach for the parent-teacher conference, and Khalil, he chose Jordan for the parent-teacher conference over his father, Marquis, who, well, respect, Marquis, you are a menace to society. You are a thug. But yeah, block on block prime, it is what it is. But yeah, they have that. The beginning of the game, state championship, Beverly versus South Crenshaw. Both quarterbacks struggling. Khalil is throwing picks. KJ's throwing picks. KJ gets benched. Halftime, mom blowing up, catches his phone. She's like, "You only see these texts?" Boom, belt to ass. They had a little bit of conversation, and then halftime, Jordan Baker, who is now the coach because the actual coach, Coach Bobby, who we thought at a point was also his father's half brother, has an appendectomy, and the other coaches just Bobby really chose Baker, even though that little bit of a commotion, and then they had the old jumping the gun thing, thinking that he was his blood, but he really wasn't. So Jordan is now the head coach, and I literally forgot how Yasi went down with an injury. But yeah, besides the point. So boom, it's halftime. KJ's is going through it. His dad has asked Jordan before the game started, "Yo, can you help him out? I hear he looks up to you," and he's like, "Nah, you're the last person I want to talk to. I'm good," because he didn't tell him that they were cousins. One, even though he really knew for a long time, and he thought that he was kind of playing his girl Layla and playing himself as well. They let both of them inside their house, and he was really a two-faced at the end of the day because he was brainwashed by his father. But yeah, they end up having a conversation at a halftime on the stairs, and Jordan's giving him some really good advice, like, "Oh, don't be mad with this, that, and the third. Don't do this. It's like, your dad put in all this work. It is what it is at the end of the day. Make him proud at the end of the day. He sacrificed for you. The least you can do is show up on this field." And did show up on the field, and then the lights went out, and then there was an absolute blue ball of hell, and then we end up just spawning into Amina, Khalil having a little moment, kind of staying offish from Amina. Amina is going to a new school, like overboard somewhere, I don't know where. Again, so, was it Disburg, I think, off the top of my head. So they end up going to Disburg, and Khalil initially he let the first thing out of his mind come out, like, "Oh, I don't want you to leave, this, that, and the third." He didn't confess his true love and emotion towards her. He had this conversation with Marquis. After Jordan was like, "Oh, if you want him to stay in your life and make him a priority, maybe you go ahead and ask him, oh, how about the girls in his life? How about this, that, and the third? Things that actually matter, not things like, what he was doing previously with, boom, boom, shoot him up, bang, bang, things like that, and send him up and send Baker up and just not doing good things at all." So they ended up having that, and then he ends up having that heart to heart, telling Amina, and then there's also KJ as well, and then they have a heart to heart as well. Khalil and KJ, and Khalil was like, don't make the same mistake I made with Amina. Tori's a good one, and she really is a good one. Shout out to Tori, because Tori, salute to my boy KJ, yes sir. So end up just basically collaborating like the football team to have this like cheer. Tori and KJ, this, that, and the third, and then they have them having their moment. Very, very good, because in the beginning, she's like, "Man, I'm good. You keep pushing me away and going for Amina. You're not talking to me. You're not telling me everything. I'm good off you. Simple." She did this previously doing him. They had a little moment, and he's always like went back and forth. But at the end of the day, I feel like he likes her. He's just not great at expressing his emotions, and it doesn't help that he goes to Amina for emotional support when he has basically a whole situationship going on at the end of the day. But yeah, thankfully Khalil finally got it through KJ's head that he has a really good one in Tori. And then my girl Coop out here cooking, just broke up with Patience, cooking with Brianna, who's also pressure, she's a professor, but she's also pressure as well. You feel what I'm saying? So she ends up having a little moment with her. Coop is in. My boy KJ, he's in as well. And at the end of the game, 17-17 or 18-18 at halftime, and then the lights go out. I like the last play. No, was it the last play of the game? Last play of the game. It's like 18-18. KJ throws the ball up. Boom. Lights go out for like 1 or 2 hours, and it's like, then they have that little moment that I just mentioned earlier with the heart to heart and this, that, and the third. But like, come on, and you ended off the season, boom, episode 13 with the ball in the air and the All-American theme song in the background. I'm like, what? Because I didn't know that season 8 was coming out. I was like, I see you end a show. Season 7 ends like that. We don't even know who was the game, and then I was like, oh, maybe there's another episode. Nope. On to season 8, which I looked it up. It's probably going to be another combination of the old cast members and the new cast members, but holy shit, that was really fucking good. But now let's get into everything and break all of that down. But yeah. Let's go ahead and break everything down. So like I mentioned earlier, I give All American a 7 out of 10. Shout out to my boy Coach Jordan. You know, we went through a lot, you know, with his dad and things like that. And then the thing earlier with his previous girlfriend Simone in previous seasons. Amina, we learned a lot about Amina this season. She really grew up. I mean, we didn't really see much of Amina. You know, the whole thing with Monique, her mother, and from then I don't recall too many moments from Amina off the top of my head. But this season is really just full. Like, she's one of the like main characters of this show. Like, we really learn a lot about her. She grows up a lot. You know, she's overall just a really good person. Just really supportive. But she also has to learn to put herself first and make sure that she's not being used, and make sure that, you know, she's looking out for her best interests and stuff like that. And Layla is special. This man Khalil was down so terrible, he literally was about to be held back once again for like the third time. So we learn a lot about Khalil, man. Khalil. I mean, he loves his father dearly, but his father just did not have his best intentions for like majority of the season. This was a bad situation, and thankfully Layla and Jordan were able to bring him up, and even had a little moment while he was with them, not with them personally, but again attached to his father. But Jesus Christ, like, he needed that in the worst way possible. And I remember when he initially went there, you went like it was a job, like, oh, I'm sorry for this, or he just wasn't acting like it was the actual home, like he deserved to be there. He felt like, you know, it was like not too good to be true, but it didn't feel like, you know, it was really like him. He didn't feel like he deserved to be there, basically. But yeah. And even like I mentioned, we learned about Cassius and Ava, and they're literally in the middle of basically, not per se a divorce, but maybe the beginning of a divorce, but like separating per se. But they were married, so it is what it is at the end of it. They didn't officially divorce, so we find out at the end, like maybe a little bit of a patching up going on. But yeah. And then this man Yasi, he's on a beach during a random practice that's a volunteer day, but you know that's not really a volunteer day. He's a quarterback one. He should be there. He's on the beach on like Instagram Live, messing with the huz, messing with the bruz, like Yasi. And then Baker finally steps up and not be like a players coach. He's like, "What are you doing there? What is my quarterback doing there?" Like, and then Yasi feel embarrassed, and he's like, "What you mean? Didn't you used to do this? Didn't you used to do that?" And he's like, "Damn, Yasi cannot win like that, sadly." Let my boy KJ cook though at the end of the day. My boy KJ was in his bag. My boy was in his Duffy. That man is a demon on the field, and then he's on the field, and then he's off the field. This man cooking with Amina, cooking with fine shit Tori. I'm like, yo, this man KJ's on fire. Then just a nasty scare early on in the season from Layla about her not technically, but potentially being pregnant with Jordan's kid. I'm like, damn, like fucking hell. She went through all these pregnancy tests, and come to find out it was like a bad brand, and she ended up having to take a new one, and just a false positive. Like, Jesus Christ, that was tough. That was very, very tough. And good to see my boy preach. My boy really turned his life around throughout the show. You know, he went down a bad path, became a teacher. He's a good father to Amina, and just like a father figure to a lot of people, like Khalil, and just so many people at the school. Like, he really turned his life around. Shout out to him for sure. This man Khalil stays getting rage baited by Yasi. Like, holy shit. And then we got Layla. Olivia comes down with insane news, which I'll get into. But they were trying to hang out and tell Layla the good old news. And then Layla, with this sponsor, they end up finding out is Elle, who she makes an insane decision at the end, which I mentioned earlier, to go. I mentioned earlier, she ends up going, being dedicated, going on tour for 6 months with Elle, who she just signed, even though she just had a insane thing happen, talking about depression. You know, depression is something like very, very serious, obviously, but also in the show as well, because they've dealt with their fair share of depression as well. And she was basically like downplaying it and belittling it, like making fun of it, downplaying it, stuff like that. So it's very controversial, but at the end she ends up not accepting that just sounds terrible. Just not learning to move past it, but you know, opening up to the idea of talking to her at the very least. I think that was a decent explanation. But yeah. And yeah, Amina's a really good friend. Tori, when I first saw her. And then Liv with the news. Liv is pregnant with twins with Spencer's kids. Holy fucking shit. And man, Khalil got a Hall of Fame opportunity becoming a part of the team because of Coach Baker, and hopefully he took advantage of that. We end up finding out at the end they did take advantage of that for sure. And not gonna lie, Tori, she did own KJ a little bit. I'll be honest, my boy KJ, you get owned for being ungrateful, you know, because he didn't feel there was enough shine at Beverly. But it's just like, oh, at least you have something, you know. Well, she like, what do we have? You know, we don't have anything. But y'all have everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, be grateful at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, fuck that nigga Coach Bobby, bro. He's actually a fucking freak. Bro was going so hard on Jordan, going so hard on Khalil. Bro was cooking up plays, and he still would get on Jordan's ass. Like, brother, you are a menace to society. And my boy Khalil went from literally having to force his way in by blocking to being in the state championship game as the quarterback, hooping in the second half, going band for a guy that could have won Player of the Year. And by the way, did we end up finding out who won Player of the Year over my boy KJ? I don't know at all. But yeah. And this man Marquis, he gotta be stopped. He basically, potentially, set up a hit on Jordan, while also previously setting up a hit on his own, potentially, son Khalil. Not a hit, but he sent basically thugs to him at the what's that, like the Dave and Buster's ass like arcade place where they were all there and they left, and they accidentally left him before they went on a bus and ended up going back, and everybody's there just looking at him like they had him cornered. But thankfully they end up coming through, and yeah, and W Ava as well. Just a great mother, you know, trying to reconcile with Cassius. You know, she was right. He wasn't the person that she knew, the hopeless dreamer, and he had the whole conversation at Layla's with obviously Layla and having a good conversation, but then a connection and becoming friends, and then the whole thing with the cousins and the sabotage and this, that, and the third, and they end up having a little bit of like a breakout. But I think they might have just got it up at the end, but not all the way there. But put a little bit of that gorilla glue, crazy glue, and I might have something cooking there. Not gonna lie to y'all. And then Khalil. This man had a Hall of Fame line. This man said, and I quote, "It ain't me who quits, it's you that keeps pulling me away." That was a bar. And then L, like I mentioned, he had that second chance. And then we have this random, just nasty love quadrilateral. I would say triangle, but it's KJ, it's Tori, it's Khalil, it's Amina. KJ likes both of them, both Tori and Amina. And Amina likes both of Khalil and KJ. Like, it's just a nasty love quadrilateral. Shout out to Laura as well. Laura is a weird one. We end up finding out just a little scene from her as well. Shout out to him coming back. Obviously Jordan and Olivia's mother. Good to see GW, Grandpa Willie, and Jordan, man. Jordan's a great guy for looking out for Khalil. Shout out to bro for sure. And then you see Layla. I mentioned earlier she had that little pregnancy scare. I'm not gonna lie, Layla has some good mom instincts, you know. We saw her with Khalil, and that's like an older kid. That's even harder to an extent. I mean, at that age, yeah, going through a lot in his head, you know, this, that, and the third, yeah. She was really good. She was really like nurturing and kind and understanding and things like that. Like, she was you can really see the instincts in Layla. And we learned about Patience coming back as well, just spawning in and having this random surface photo of her with an ex, and she's like, "Oh, you're not again." She's like, "No, I know, no, it was the article," and she's like, "Oh no, I know you know whatever, Not saying that she did, but obviously denying it. And then Coop seeing it, she's like, "Man, stop that." Not saying that it was her, but man, come on now, Patience would never. Come on now. And I won. I fucking won. My boy KJ with Tori, let them cook, yes sir. And then Amina. Amina is so damn toxic with this love quadrilateral because he's really playing both sides at the end of the day. And then you have these freaks again, Khalil and South Crenshaw. I guess the other people that apparently just have it out for him. They ruined Homecoming Night, which meant so much for Amina. Like, what the hell? Then Spencer out of nowhere just spawns in. My boy Darnell even spawns in at the Baker home. And W mans for having my boy Khalil's back at the end of the day. Amina, she had a lot bottled up as well. I'm going over here, but Amina had a lot bottled up over her mother Monique. She ended up just letting all that go, telling the Coop, not really having a full conversation with Peaches, but at the end of the day, somebody had to go, and unfortunately for Amina, potentially it was her mother. Dad is crazy, and W Coop, man, W Coop. And then we end up finding out about Cassius's father being called to the game by KJ. You want to know what happens? He's up going back to terrorism, seeing his dad in the stands, and he's like, kind of remembered, oh, this are my traumas from. This is why I came here, potentially, most likely, to Beverly to break all these records. So he breaks Billy Baker's record for the most points scored in a season. They needed like 60. They risked an injury of the wide receiver, who I still don't know if he's fine or not, but besides the point. They risked an injury on the last play. He scores, and he's like, something in his eye at halftime. It was seeing his dad, and went in, and he's like, oh, and initially he's like, oh, you'll just play the first half, and other than that. But before that, it was like, oh, you're gonna be benched the whole entire game for rest. The sponsors or whatever, they want you to rest, and KJ's like, no, let us play, man. Last game of this season, last ride. You're like, okay, first half, that's it. Y'all better be up by enough. That's it. And then he sees his dad, and then World War III erupts, and then sees red, and to score 60 points, they end up hurting the wide receiver, and yeah. And then Marquis, man, for doing that to Jordan Baker, literally set him up, basically. Marquis, you have to rot in hell. And Jordan was literally trying to eviscerate him when he saw him at the parent-teacher conference. Oh my God. And Cassius, you demon. After what happened to Jordan, somebody needed blood to give to Jordan that were the same type, basically. And the doctor was like, is anybody here a relative? And they're like, oh, yeah, Olivia, but she's on her way here. Obviously, Liv with Spencer, obviously. And Cassius is like, yes, me. And everybody's like, what? You ain't related. He's giving the blood, and then still, there's that commotion, which is still at the end of the season as well, between Cassius and also Jordan, because he kind of feels like used, and it was sabotage at the end of the day, but it is what it is. And then Khalil has never been in thug allegation. My boy literally was skipping out on school, had a Glock in his backpack. Like, dude, he was literally trying to. He scoped out the people who went after Khalil, who went after Jordan. He was trying to mop them up, and then out of nowhere, Coop spawns at the perfect time, stops him from doing that, because what would he have gotten out of that? He would have went to jail for a while. He would have ruined his own life. Like, come on, man. Like, what's the point of doing that? Revenge into what? You're never making out of jail? Like, come on, brother. What are we doing as a society? Just W Coop, man. She went down that path. She was not trying to make sure that Cleo went down that path. Just shout to her for sure. And then at the end of the show, like I mentioned, at the end of the show, at the end of the beginning of the last episode, like I mentioned, not congratulating Cassius was rough. KJ, man, you literally have Tori in your hands. Just open up to her. Like, he was so fucking moronic for that. Let my boy Cassius cook with Ava. I think he's in. Boys, I think my boy is in. Jordan Baker, he got his wish. It wasn't way playing the appendectomy for Coach Bobby, but hey, boy became the head coach. He was assistant coach. Bobby's kind of pushing him away, not giving him any leeway. Ends up coaching him. State championship down to the last play, which we don't still know what the hell happened, but yeah, That was a lot I got into over these 25 minutes. But so much happened in the 13th episode that I had just written down that I had to get into. But yeah, that was a lot better of a season than I thought it would be, to be quite frank. I thought it would be like Celtic Shaq, but I really fell in love with the characters of like Ava, not Ava, shout out to Ava though, but KJ, Tori, more learning more so about Amina and Khalil, and you know, it was great. It was really great. And I really can't wait to see how they put a whole bow on this in the season 8. Again, I thought season 7 was going to be the last season, and I looked it up earlier and I was like, season 8 is renewed. We will be seated. But overall, like I said, I give All American a 7 out of 10. You know, it's pretty low grade, but you know, it's not like Spencer. You don't get like, you know, the whole yard there. But yeah. Man, shout out to all the new characters, man. That was really good. Let me see if I have anybody. Shout out to my boy Nathaniel Logan McIntyre as KJ, aka Kingston Jeremy. My boy Khalil, obviously. Shout out to Antonio J. Bell. Also shout out to Brianna, man. Brianna was pressure, man. Brianna was absolute pressure. Shout out to Ava as well. Shout out to all the new characters overall. That was really good. Shout out to Angel Parker as Ava. Shout out to, it's really tough. I'm looking at that Rotten Tomatoes and just not giving me the name, so I don't want to say anything. Obviously, shout out to Michael Evans Bailing as Jordan Baker, Greta Onigu as Layla, Breezy. Now I'll be on the that dream or Connecticut Sun Legend, baby. We're talking about T. I don't call her. I literally remember her first name. Now I was seeing it right here, Tiana Cooper. Sadly, in my book, you are Coop. But what a season, 7 out of 10. And yeah, first time back in a while. You know, I'm getting back in my show bag. You know, MLB season. You know, W season now, NFL season. A lot to keep up with. I'm trying to get back in my show bag. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that review. And yeah. Other than that, y'all, that is the video. So go down below, drop a like, comment down below, sub up. Make sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. It's your boy John. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.